Okay, so on this video, we're gonna go a little bit more over how to divide polynomials. In these examples that I'm about to show you, there's something a little bit different than the previous ones. First of all, we see that we do not have an exponent 2 as the highest power for the numerator. In this case, we have 4m cubed, right? But it would still have a binomial on our denominator. So for this examples, I want to go over one rule, which is when dividing two polynomials, this must contain every power from highest to lowest. What do I mean by that? Notice how on the numerator we have 4m cubed plus 17m squared and then minus 38. In that case, we are missing the exponent m1, m to the first power. That means that this must be rewritten to 4m cubed plus 17 m squared plus 0m minus 38. And then over m plus 3. So the bottom, we're not concerned about it because we only have m, which is to the first power, and then 3. So both polynomials must have all the powers, right, from highest to lowest. Now that we have written the 0m, we can go ahead and divide the two polynomials. So we're going to have 4m cubed plus 17m squared plus 0m minus 38, and then divide by m plus 3. I feel like my pen now it's writing a little bit thicker than before. I don't know what I pressed. Honestly, this iPad is just, it has a lot of like tools, and sometimes I don't know what I do, but I think now it's thicker. Anyways, let's go back to the problem. So we are gonna start just like the same way that we did with the previous example. So we look at m and then 4m cubed, right? Now, because this is m to the first power and we have m to the cube, that means we need 2 more, right? So we're gonna multiply times m squared, right? Now, because this m outside has a 1 as a coefficient and we have 4 inside, that means we're going to multiply times 4, because 4 times 1 is going to give us 4. So we're going to multiply 4m squared by m plus 3. So 4m squared by multiplied by 1m is 4m cubed. And then 4m squared multiplied times 3 is 12m squared. And then we go ahead and subtract. So 4m cubed minus 4m cubed cancels out. 17 minus 12, it's 5m squared. And then we bring down 0m. Right? Now, let's go ahead and find what value it's going to give us 5m squared when we multiply it times 1m. So because it's an m squared that we have right here, and we have m to the first power, then we know that we only need 1 more m, right? And now it's a positive, so plus m to the first power, and then 1 times 5 gives you 5. So we're going to multiply 5m times m, and then times 3. So this is going to give us 5m squared, and then plus 15m. So these are going to subtract. This cancels out, so 0 minus 15m, it's going to be negative 15m. And then we can bring down the negative 38. So now it's time for us to look for that value that when we multiply it times 1m, it gives us negative 15m. So in this case, that's going to be negative 15. So negative 15 times m, it's negative 15m. And negative 15 times 3, it's going to give us negative 45. Now, because there's going to be a subtraction happening, we're going to go ahead and switch the signs. So negative 15m plus 15m crosses out, and then negative 38 plus 45, it's negative 7. And then there's nothing else to bring down, so this negative 7, it's a remainder. Or a leftover. So that means that 4m cubed plus 17m squared minus 38 divided by m plus 3 equals 4m squared. So from here, 4m squared plus 5m minus 15, and then plus negative 7 over m plus 3. So notice how this negative 7, the leftover, the remainder, is written over, right, m plus 3, which is the divisor that we had out here in the division. And then again, this is the quotient, right? This is the solution. Whatever values we were getting up here on the division, that's the solution. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one. This one's going to be a little bit longer, but I still want to go over it because I know long divisions can be pretty confusing sometimes. So we have to divide p to the 4th power plus 6p cubed plus 3p squared plus 10p, oops, there it goes again, and then plus 1. And everything over p squared plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the numerator and denominator. In the numerator, I'm noticing that I have p to the 4th power, p to the 3rd power, p to the 2nd, p to the 1st, and then p to the 0, which is just a number. So I'm good. The numerator is completed. However, the denominator, I can see I have p squared, and then I have a number. So basically here I'm missing p to the 1st power. So I have to rewrite it. So this is going to be p to the 4th plus 6p to the 3rd plus 3p squared plus 10p plus 1 over p squared plus 0p plus 1. And now I'm ready to go ahead and write my long division. So this is going to look like this. P 4th plus 6p cubed plus 3p squared. Also, you don't have to do that second step that I did, which was like this part, which was rewrite everything in the fraction. As long as you add the zeros, right, wherever they need to be added in the long division, then you're good, which is what I'm going to be looking at. And then p squared plus 0p plus 1. Okay? So let's begin. Again, we're going to look at the first term in the divisor, and then the first term in the dividend. So the first term of the numerator, or whatever we have inside. So we have p squared and p to the fourth. Because we already have exponent 2 and we need exponent 4, we can see that we need 2 more. So we multiply times p to the second power. And then again, this will be distributed to everything. So p squared times p squared is p to the 2 plus 2, which is p to the fourth. And then p squared times 0p will be plus 0p cubed. And then p squared times positive 1 is plus 1p squared. And then from here, we can go ahead and subtract. Alright, so p to the fourth minus p to the fourth cancels out. 6p cubed minus 0p cubed is going to be 6p cubed. And then 3p squared minus p squared is positive 2p squared. Okay. Now we have p squared times what is going to give us 6p cubed. So the first thing that we need to look at is that we have p squared, so p exponent 2, and we need exponent 3. That means we need one more p, right? So plus p to the first power. And then because this has a coefficient of 1 and we need 6, we're going to multiply times 6. So 6p times everything. So 6p times 1p squared is 6p cubed. And then 6p times 0p is going to be plus 0p squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring down the plus 10p. I didn't do it before, but we need to bring down that next term. And then we're going to do 6p times 1, which is 6p. Because we're going to subtract, again we switch signs. So 6p cubed minus 6p cubed cancels out. 2p squared minus 0p squared is just going to be 2p squared. And then 10p minus 6p is going to be positive 4p. And we bring down the 1. Okay. So let's go ahead and find the next term of our solution. So we can still find more values because we have p to the second power and p to the second power. So whatever exponent we have in here has to be the same or higher than the exponent we have out here. If we don't have the same or higher, then that's going to be a leftover. So here we have 1p squared times 2p, and we need to multiply 1p squared in order to get 2p squared. Because we already have p squared and it's p squared, then we don't need to multiply times any other p with any exponent. There's nothing else that we need in regards of the exponents of p. However, we have 1 and then we need to get a 2 for the coefficient. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply times positive 2. So 2 times 1p squared is going to give us 2p squared. And then positive 2 times 0p, that's plus 0p. And then positive 2 times 1, it's plus 2. So we switch signs. 2p squared minus 2p squared cancels out. 4p minus 0p is 4p. And then 1 minus 2, it's negative 1. Now here's what I'm saying. We have p to the first power. However, our divisor is p to the second power, right? So that's because it's lower than the highest exponent in the divisor, this is a leftover. So we are ready to write our solution. So p to the 4th power plus 6p to the 3rd power plus 3p squared plus 10p plus 1 over p squared plus 1 equals p squared plus 6p plus 2 plus 4p minus 1 over p squared plus 1. And this is our solution. So again, this is the quotient, right? So the